Should be coming up here on the live. Boy, I look tired. Get them bags, baby. Have not been feeling well, unfortunately. Let me make sure I'm not screaming at my New York crew here. As you can tell, we are still trading New York live over here in Discord. If you are not in Discord, discord.gg/tactical edge trading. Link is in the description of both TikTok and YouTube. I'm just getting a couple more things set up. Man. We're watching here for a correction on the good old Bitcoin, which we may be getting right now. ETH here actually on screen. Let me go ahead and fix that as we... There we go. See if this automatically populates. It does not. There we go. What? Waiting. We got a 2-minute shift. For the first 2-minute shift we've had all day on Bitcoin to the downside. Zooming that out here a little further, we are waiting to confirm this with a 5-minute shift. And then potentially fill imbalance is already filming in the charts here. So maybe we can back up and inform here. For our back test for our short, if you're already not in. We're watching though, just for a little lower. I apologize here, I'm staring down. We're not live on TikTok yet. All right. We should be live on everything. We're watching for a Bitcoin shift right now. We are still... Let me move some of this stuff around. We should be potentially here, right? Let me just share that we are live over in the Discord. New York crew still trading here, guys. I don't know if I have that even showing on TikTok. Everyone's stacked in here still. What's left of the New York crew moving into lunch hour. We're just announcing him live. Nice 5-minute inducement here. We'll go through some things here in another minute, just watching to see how this plays out. Looking for this. Potential for backfill. Yep. What's up, guys? Oh, John Nostrum. Good to see you again, brother. Some other things are pulling back today, man. Apple not having a great day. Just getting a straight pullback. You know, hitting some double tops here, and this bear flag breaking down. Out of channel. Ooh, that is getting busy there. Let's zoom this out to the hour chart. So here you can see the bear flag. Here's your pole. Here's your flag on Apple. And potentially looking for that 242. We talked about this a couple days ago. Stocks looking like they were toppy. But the thing we could be getting is a little bit of a rotation in the Bitcoin and crypto in general. Well, Bitcoin is hitting a Pico top here for the day. Stocks seem to be making a move lower at a larger time frame structure. Zoom out here a little further. Here's 4 hour. Again, you can see this pole here on Apple. Either we SFP the low and we get a great entry for a long, or we run it all the way down. So same for Meta here, looking not unfamiliar. I don't even know where you can draw this. This is probably right here. So again, bear flag. Here's your pole. Here's your flag. Apple potentially heading to 492. Good prices to pick these things up here, guys. So also watching double weekly bottoms for SFPs. Adding an alert here. Let me take a look at Masters for you here, sir. I am a firm reliever. Oops, I did this wrong. What is it again? MSTR, not MASTR. So strategies. Michael Saylor actually bouncing with Bitcoin, which is quite opposite of what the market's doing in general. So looking for a daily liquidity sweep at the top of the range here, about $200. Because we are in the middle of the range, I'm not looking long or short on Master. So if you're in at the bottom, you know, somewhere in here before we broke the liquidity curve, that would be the optimal position to be in to take a close of the play at the top, especially if you're in a call or a long leverage play. Just looking at the gap fill potentially on the daily, we reach in liquidity here. We come in and fill the gap tomorrow, and then we run it out the next day. Here is a distinct possibility here for Masters. But closing even back down below this range, I think we're in trouble on this. He's going to be the reason that we have a bear market in crypto. He's going to be fucking liquidated. Maybe we get something like that. Calling it now. It's a bold prediction. As far as the weekly on Masters, I mean, it makes sense to come up to the top of the range of liquidity and just keep chopping sideways. It is not out of the woods here by any stretch of the imagination for downside. Good news is it had weekly intent to the upside. It SFP'd the weekly and is continuing up. So, you know, if Bitcoin has a hell of a rally, which it has been doing, it tapped 97.8 yesterday or today. I mean, we could claw back into something higher on the weekly, but you gotta prove it to me. Right? So if you're positioned, you could be well positioned now. You know, I need to see a shift of structure here at $197 a Masters to even get bullish. So I think maybe we just potentially chop sideways a little bit here, and then we make a decision on which way we're going. But it's nice. It's got the SFP. It could come a little harder here, right? But I need a shift and a back test. So I want to get over this. Potentially hit our head up here in this fair value gap, back test the 0.50 or the golden pocket, and then get up and over with a conditional and additional shift of structure. So you can see the imbalance in the chart. Here's your fair value gap. This would be a logical place to fill first if we are going to get up. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the daily. We did that. Let's take a look at the 4 hour, see if it has a higher target. I mean, 4 hour structure high is about $211. Maybe getting up to that 215. So oscillator smoked on the 4 hours, so we need a new divergence drive to get it up there. 8 hour smoked, 12 hour smoked, 22 smoked, daily smoked. So maybe a bit of a pullback here. Intraday's looking okay. Probably 1 hour does not look great, actually. 1 hour structure sits about 175. We don't want an hour candle close below this. Because that could confirm this pattern we're looking at here as the head and shoulders, right? This is a model 1. manipulation phase, continuation phase. So Masters needs to hold this demand candle, and it's pretty much where it needs to hold. Got an order block here on the hour. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Not buying the top. So if you're in it, that's awesome. I wouldn't be looking to long right here unless it shifts one more time. It'd be nice if we got higher this year, especially in the crypto, man. Bitcoin is up nicely. Yes, it is. So we are watching the pullback on Bitcoin, just looking for a scalp short. Not really giving us much here, but a little bit of intent to the downside. So nice displacement. Broke liquidity curve. So we were making higher highs the whole way up here, right? So here's New York open. There's our higher low into a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low, SFP, lower high, or lower low, excuse me. So now that we put in a lower high, find ourselves a trend line and continue the other way. That's the plan, right? So we need the market to confirm this plan, which usually entails consolidating sideways here and then shifting down one more time, setting up our short play to look much like this, somewhere here, if we get it. So that's the play we're watching for right now. No plays all morning. Didn't catch the long. Oh, I'm still in my long from yesterday. So I guess that counts, right? Let me get the snip tool out here. I'll just snip it for you. I ain't showing the profit on this one. I'm not trying to be braggadocious. But we're up 120% since yesterday's entry at 92,674. My gold play got stopped break even. We were talking about yesterday. Gold just not ready to come down. I have this weird notion on commodities and stocks. Well, maybe more commodities is the issue, but they've been up only, right? So the potential there for me to just grab a short and hope it finally breaks is maybe a little bit on the silly side, but either way. Appreciate the follow, guys. If you want to see a ticker, let me know. I'll go through it, set you up a play. One thing I'm not going to tell you to do is top blast or bottom blast. Watching the bear flag here locally on Bitcoin. You're in the learning phase. I risk $1,000 stomp out with a 0.38% drop. So every 0.38% to the upside, I'm up $1,000. Oh, there he is. There's my ARRNF guy. Every day, buddy. Don't let me down with that. This is the one that trades like an altcoin, though. This one's crazy. American Rare Earths. We'll get it on stage here for him again. Liquidity is very, very thin in this project. Again, I see this. I'll tell you, brother. I see this head and shoulders pattern. I can't unsee this. This looks like manipulation to the upside, consolidation sideways, and then I think we probably get displacement somewhere down a little further. I mean, even back to this neckline to take liquidity, sweep the weekly low, and then run it back again. I mean, this is heavily manipulated, right? So this is people probably buying here and selling here over and over and over again, right? So we come down, we sweep everything below 20 cents again, and we probably come up and sweep everything above 30 cents again. These guys are playing with this token or this over-the-counter stock. If you're holding this for a moon play, I think you're doing it wrong. This is manipulated ranges heavily. Manipulation. Obviously manipulation. Obviously manipulation. It's just too thin. If you're up, brother, I would consider taking some profit, at least what you put into it, so you're covered if it just goes bad fast. I mean, even the bottom of the channel is 30%. And top to bottom is almost closer to 40. I mean, look at the daily oscillator. What happens when we get up here? Well, notoriously, we come back down. I'm not recommending a top blast on this. I'm recommending letting it do some things. What's up, gentlemen? What's up, Parker? I'll take a peek at gold. Just yesterday, we took the short, right? And then we ended up getting stomped out. Well, a little bit of profit. And we're back to... Oops, we're not zoomed in here. This makes a little more sense. Coming back down again. But what we talk about all the time, guys, is those weekly high levels. All right, we did it again today. So we got stomped out yesterday, coming back up here about 46. Our entry was up here in like 46.15 area. Didn't re-short it today. I kind of like how it moved above range, so we're just seeing if we can get a healthy pullback in a continuation phase. Trying a little bit different here for longs. But looking for a pullback into the golden pocket, which we may have got with that liquidity wick. NQ moving lower. New York was choppy. Asia gave it back with that shift, baby. I know it gets confusing when you look at all these different wicks. Sol XOXL. Yeah, give me 1 second, Joe. Let's just go through the higher lows here, right? So here was our break yesterday, right? Made a new low, failed to take the high, put in a lower high, equal low, lower high, shift the structure, lower high, shift the structure, lower high, shift the structure, lower high. Like any of these could have been the great entry for these coming back. I mean, short positions on these, shift the structure, cover the top. Looking for 3. Would have got about right there. Actually would have had a beautiful TV. Take the next shift the structure. Looking 3 to 1. I already got it again, so there's 2 there, man. That's crazy. How high could we have actually like jammed this? If it would have kept going. 15% RR in there, man. I wish I was watching Asia. Let's take a look at SOXL. Direction. Daily semiconductors. So this is a leverage play, huh? So you are $54 covered calls for 130. So you are long $54. So let's just get your... Here's your entry right here. Why am I not dropping a horizontal? Come on. So here's the first thing is what was the structure you were playing, right? So I guess the question is, like, if you were taking that play, what was the condition that you took it, right? So for me, yesterday's daily high, yesterday's daily low, when even from open range, what are they called? Orb traders, open range, orb, ORB, open range breakout traders. I don't even know what it stands for. So we SFP'd the daily pretty hard. All right, let's take a look at our structure because I think that's going to be the easier tell. So here's the uptrend. So here's your low. Here's your high. Here's your low. Here's your break structure. Here's your higher low. Here's your break structure. Here's your higher high. Here's your lower high. Here's your, or excuse me, your higher low, lower high, break a structure. So we're, expectation of order flow has changed. So what is the low that put in the high for the hour chart? Well, the last one was here. So are we coming into something that lines up with that? Let's pull fib. So we're still front running the 0.50. So we are still in premium. So anything above the 0.50 from the expression to the expression is a premium. I'm not interested in anything. That automatically discounts any long play from this area for me. Right? So I may be interested as soon as it hits the 0.50, but I'm really interested in if it hits down here. Right? So what do we have in that golden pocket? Well, we have a new, potentially something that lines up here. Let's see if this lines up with the 4-hour low, which it does. So 1 candle, 2 candle. So we have our 4-hour low, our H4 down here, which lines up also with our H1. So more confluence there. It's a derivative of the 1, right? Let's look at the daily. H1 lines up with this institutional block. Let's see if we got like maybe an order block there on a lower time frame. Well, I think you can call the 2-hour probably an order block. Yes, you can. So here's a 2-hour order block. So bullish. So this is the last time it had a gap fill to the upside. This is where we trapped all the shorts, right? So coming down naturally to trap these shorts at about 51.45 is probably a great idea for a continuation play. So your entry was 54. So here. So I think you're one structure ahead of where you should have entered. I don't know how much you lose if it comes down here, but this is probably the natural target. 2 hours a little oversold. 4 hours pointing straight down. Again, this is not confluence for a long. And daily's putting in a bearish divergence. You probably see it on the 12. Just, it's not hidden, but it's there. Look at the 2-hour, 3-hour. I mean, just natural divergence coming down now. 1 hour could get a scoop here. We do have an imbalance in the chart here that it could be targeting as well. Here's your fair value gap. Yep, nothing screams long yet, right? So come back out and stomp out all the late longs, and then we run it back. But it's just kind of moving with the broader market at the moment. Just be careful. If you can't hold it the whole way down here, man, I might wait for like a local pullback, you know, and then a local reshift, and then just cut it. I don't know if you got thousands in a line or if you're outside your risk tolerance or anything like that. But we really haven't had, I mean, just lower highs even on the 15. And no real imbalance. The only imbalance is up here about 55 bucks. We have a little inverted fair value here. So maybe something like this. It comes up in here and then you get a shift down. And then like, yeah, if it shifts again, I'm fucked. It's just going to bear flag down. And then you get something like this. All right. And then it just shifts down. So here's your break structure. And then, you know, it's probably just going to get this flag. Because then we built on a flag here. So here's your flag. Here's your pull. Here's your measure move. Bam, right into our target. Yeah, I think a little premature. But good news is, as long as your risk tolerance is good, man, it's just part of the game. And if you don't know how to do your risk tolerance, guys, hop over into our, I mean, you can jump in Discord, right? We've improved the offerings in the free section, but we do trade live every single day. We harp on market structure. We harp on higher time frame confluences. We harp on all those things. But there is a free courses over here at tacticaledstraders.com. It is free. It teaches you the basics. We give away the juice, man. Even giving away the juice of how we are daily traders. Like I'm a full-time trader. Ben's a full-time trader. We're both the people who run this group. Eddie is almost a full-time trader, but he's an amazing trader at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm not loving this right now for a long. See what else we got. Live trading is only $100 a month. It's just the gating fee not to come through being an idiot. You can sign up right on the website. But you get a lot more than just trading with us, right? I mean, trading live with us is great, but we're not a signals group at the end of the day. We are teaching you how to trade, like literally how to think for yourself with this stuff. Ben or I do the mock-up every single day where we're looking to take our trades, but we're not going to tell you when we enter. We're looking for daily sweeps. We're looking for trap traders. We're looking for liquidity to be taken. We show you how to do this. We show you the levels that we're literally looking for the hit. And then we take our reactions and you take your reactions. And then we have a trade recap channel and people talk about, everything they took. Where they went, what the idea was. I don't know if I'm keeping up with this. Am I keeping up with this? I mean, here's $900 yesterday or the day before yesterday. I feel like I've had more trades than that. There was a couple in there I didn't share the actual profits on. Here's another one for $778. QQQ, I think we already have mocked up. We were looking for shorts. Yep. It did go. This one played out great. I hope the guy that took the cover calls with us the other day, or the puts, excuse me, got out beautifully. But we were looking for a retest, right? So again, we're always looking for daily liquidity to be taken. Right? So where was that liquidity? We have a weekly, a daily, and a monthly top up here. These are highly resistant levels. They are not going to just break. These are areas on the charts where institutions rebalance their portfolios. If they long the weekly bottom, they would take profit on the weekly top. These are the people who have way too much money in the market for your trade to matter. For you to be bullish right here makes no difference. It's probably not going to do this after one attempt. It's probably going to take at least 4. And these are things we know. Right? So we're targeting on QQQ. The low we wanted was just the low of the weekly here. 610. But we can back it up. We can take a look at the structure for you. So we have, this is the weekly high. Right? This is the weekly high. Here's previous daily high right next to it. So 2 confluences right in a row. And we have session liquidity. We have New York high right here as well. That's an A+ setup into New York. So you probably could have took this twice. What's going to happen if you get up into the amount of liquidity at a New York session high, a daily session high, a weekly high, and a monthly high? How much more confluence do you need right there? Right? It's going to wick and it's going to dump. Right? So you probably could have took this and held for lower, or you could have took this twice. So if you take the SFP on the short position, it's easy, brother. Wick that high, close below it, come below it on a lower time frame, 1 minute, 30 second, whatever time frame you're watching, risk to reward is 0.08. So even back into the low that made the high is 7.5% on account. Into the 4-hour low is 17% on account. If you're targeting the weekly low that put in the high, it's 37% on account. as long as you're entering the full capacity of your play and your stop loss. Yeah, but QQQ down. It doesn't have to go straight down. It could do this, right? It could do this. But my target here is about 610. Let's look at... No, not end of day, brother. End of fractal would be the term for it, right? So if I have a larger time frame here and I have a beautiful liquidity curve set up, right? So if this is, and we can even do this in the 4 hour, right? This is what they call a liquidity curve. This is going to take engineered stop losses the whole way out, right? So this curve itself has built liquidity to the upside every single time. And let me explain to you, because not all trend lines are liquidity curves. So when you break structure, you come back in and form demand, right? This is demand. When you break structure, you come back in and form demand. Demand. 4 hour. When you break structure, you come back in and you form demand. This was demand on about probably the 1 hour, right? So reaction, 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 and then this demand chain failed. So now we have an excess supply chain in the market. So this is now flipped from support on the hour chart to resistance or excess supply in the market, right? This one broke as well. So that's a 4 hour break of structure to the downside. This is now broken from support to resistance or from supply to demand, right? And you can probably draw this one, the whole thing. It's 2 4 hour breaks. So again, we could get some kind of backfill and then continuation to the downside. But the way to know how this could continue to the upside is just a new shift. So if it starts making higher highs, it's got to break over $623.83 at this point in time for it to shift structure. All right, this is the 1 hour high. Now, there's ways you can do that better, right? How can you get a tighter play? If you think this is going to be some sort of play forming here, you don't just long this, right? It's just a drop. You long support, which would be down here. So still, while you're in demand, right? So what did we say when we were looking at the other play? If we're above the 0.50 Fibonacci from pull to pull, I'm not interested in a long anywhere here. This is the premium of the zone. We're in discount, and we're in discount, into the golden pocket, into the gap fill. So we have interest in potentially taking a new long, but what would that new long tell us to enter? We're looking for the play to set itself up. We're looking to get a key to tell us, hey, look, dummy, it's now time to take a long on this. So what we need to see is either it breaks here or sets a new high to break. So how could it do that? Let's just say it gets 3 1 hour candles, 1, 2, 3, and it ends here at this liquidity high. It comes back down, 1 2 hour candles into a new supply zone, into a new demand zone, and then it breaks structure, right? That would give us a key. Hey, look, now potentially I'm looking to set up a new demand area to take a long from. So let's say the candle came all the way up here to 620. I'm going to redraw my fib, and I'm looking to re-long from discount. So again, it'd be here, holding the higher low, taking the long play, and targeting the high that put in the low. It would look like this. All right, so something like that. And even that's 3.5% on account. But if that was the low, and it shifts on the 4 hour, and then shifts on the 8 hour, and then all of a sudden you're running back to all-time highs, and this was simply a higher low on the chart, right? And structure is intact still on the larger time frames like the daily. So the daily hasn't broken structure. If this bottom breaks, that's the daily structure break. So we broke 4 hour, we broke 1 hour, we broke 15 minute. It's in a downtrend, potentially looking for it to shift into an uptrend. But there's no indication that we have done that yet. There's no position to take on this yet. So we are waiting for it to tell us something, right? And then you can counterplay this too. So let's pretend this is the 1 hour structure. We got to go back to 1 hour here. Let's pretend we're drawing. Give me 1 second here. Where's my tooltip? I need a broad color. So here's black, right? So let's pretend we're drawing in the 15-minute structure, right? So here's 15 comes up, it shifts again, 15 comes up, it creates the hour high, 15 comes down, it bounces, 15 comes down, breaks it into making an hour low, it comes back up, it just straight breaks out, right? It breaks lower, it breaks higher, has a break structure, and then immediately shifts, right? So 1 hour structure in the 15-minute structure drawn out there, you get a trend line. Let's cheat this up a little bit. No, we don't need to cheat this up a little bit. That looks like this, right? So now you have a steeper trend line here on the 15-minute. We call this a deviation of trend. So 1 hour structure makes a high. 15-minute made a head and shoulders to continue the 1 hour structure to the downside. 1 hour comes up, makes a high. It Adams and Eves on the 15. And then you're actually looking for a short position here because you're not confident that that target's going to hold to the downside, and you're in a new short that's targeting the bottom of the fractal. So you can take the bear flag breakdown, which would look like this. So here's your flag. Here's your trend. Here's the top of your flag. This is where price action moved through, and then the whole thing just comes down. So it's all about planning the trade and letting it come to you and trapping the traders in the moment there. But these are the types of things we teach you to do. What are you guys talking about? Beans with dried lamb. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Probably pretty good. As long as I jam. So I guess we're looking to see if sorry, I was checking a message. Bitcoin's still not necessarily holding here. Yeah, but just coming down here, man, this isn't a sign of any kind of long quite yet on QQQ. We're looking for guaranteed expectation order flow. So looking for a continuation short after it claws a little back, or we're looking for a shift to give us an idea to go long. But lots of pullbacks here. Tesla breaking structure to the downside. I mean, they all look the same, right? We pointed this out a couple days ago. You know, you had these head and shoulders pattern forming and displacement to the downside to take the low. This is a project I'm interested in picking up in if it can come down to where I want it. So the other thing we talked about, I think, what is today, Wednesday? Losing track. On Monday was Tesla's evaluation being 1.5 trillion, or not Tesla, SpaceX's evaluation being $1.5 billion. Crazy. But I think that can jump to a whole aerospace segment. Right down to the 0.50 took the weekly again, dude. That's crazy. Or the daily again. Can you explain bear and bull flags a little more detail? What does it look like for NVIDIA to get out of this chop? Let's tackle NVIDIA first, and then we'll talk about those flags. Ooh. Again, I don't like the way the NVIDIA looks. I think this is coming down. Head, displacement, shoulder, second shoulder, it's coming down. I'm calling that right now. So we swept daily liquidity at the top of the range. So we swept it once for a short, twice for a short, and we are getting a daily shift of structure already the other day. So here's a daily shift. So for Tesla to be bullish, I'm not entertaining along until we either shift over 188.26 I'm sorry, 188.18, or we do some sort of local shift. We had the gap fill today right into that naked point of control, but the target for me is lower. So I think before we potentially even break the current high, we come down to 170. All right, there's a hope here that this is actually a bull flag. But I'm not holding my breath on this. It's possible to bring us back up to 210. Let's look at the 4 hour, see what the shifts look like. 4 hours, fresh shift. Fresh breaker for structure on the 4 hour. 4 hour low matches the daily down here, right? This is not 4 hour structure. This is sideways accumulation. So we could come up and just fill. Again, same situation we were looking at with QQQ. We're looking for a lower high here. So here's one imbalance on the chart. This is a fair value gap. We have two kind of up here as well. So we could trap people up here. So this is actually a 4 hour imbalance, inverted fair value gap, and probably an order block on something really small. So there's a 5 minute one there, or a 10 minute one there, and a 5 minute one there. So it's drawn pretty tight. I don't think you need to get much tighter than that. So we could come up all the way here on NVIDIA. I don't know where you're at, man. Maybe it comes right here. It gets a pop up into inversion, puts in another head and shoulders pattern, and comes down. But the higher low, to break the low, or excuse me, to break the high, we got to come here. So lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. It might not even get up that high. It might just break this fair value and then just start breaking back down. Here's your head and shoulders. These things have done stranger things, though. I mean, hours oversold. 4 hour does not look healthy at all. I don't know if we even come up to there. It just might get a trend down and flag on us. Daily is coming down. 2 days coming down. 3 days bear diving. This all looks like poop. I think we get one more leg down on the NVIDIA. I would actually call for a sweep in here. 165. I'm looking for institutional demand here. I'm looking 150. This is crazy. Let's see here. Now I wish I was short this from the top. Bitcoin's coming down right now. So I'm thinking something like this. So if we pull this out even to the weekly here, like we're looking for a weekly consolidation at this point. It's down so bad. So again, fib, right? On the weekly range, if I'm looking for a weekly swing trade, again, I'm not interested in anything above 150 because that's going to be premium. And we're like on it, literally on it right now, this curve. So we have the tap 1, tap 2, and we're literally just hovering over tap 3 right now. And if that's lost, it's got reasons to start chasing these demand chains down. I like this right here. 148. $148 into the flagpole. Bouncing into 270 if AI is going to continue booming. If not, it comes back up. It bearishly retests the old range and continues lower. So we will get a bounce. We'll get a bounce at like 165. Hopefully it's not dead cat. because it's a daily and weekly low. What's up, Eddie? Yeah, I think it's struggling to consolidate sideways, man. Like if you're looking at Nvidia on the daily chart, it's making higher highs here, right? But volume's moving down. That's people selling into strength, taking profits at all-time highs. I don't think there's any way around that. Bitcoin coming down now too. Let's look at that question about flags, right? Let's go to something that doesn't have this. So if there's 3 ways an asset can move, an instrument, like this, uptrend, downtrend, and accumulation. Right? Sideways. So the question is how do you identify if you are breaking structure to the upside or breaking structure to the downside? And you asked about bull flags or bear flags, right? So if we pretend this is, again, we'll call this 1 hour structure. And then let's draw, just have to change the color here. We're going to go back to purple. It's kind of close to the black, huh? Let's go into that later one. There we go. Now let's draw a 15-minute structure. So 15-minute does this. It breaks out, it backtests, it breaks out, it backtests, it breaks out, it backtests. So we have a 1 hour push and then a 15-minute push that breaks 3 times. Oops, that's not what we want. Right? So based on what we just talked about, what are the rules for getting in this play? Well, we're looking for a pullback, right? We're looking for this as a nice inducement. Let's just say old price action was here, right? And then it broke and it's moving up, right? 15-minute break, hour break. So again, we're pulling our Fibonacci. We're looking for a pullback into discount, which anything above the 0.50 from the high to the low is premium. Anything below this is discount. We want to buy in discount. We want to continue in discount. Right? So this is where the flag comes into play. So you get a 1 hour, say this is 2 1 hour candles. It comes back in, back tests the 15-minute structure. And I'll explain a little bit better what I mean by this. Right? So here was the histogram. Hour high, old hour high, well, new hour high, 15-minute broke it, right? So what happened here? So this is called a flag pattern. So let's just say previous price action looks like this. It came up once, it denied it. It came up another time, it denied it. It came up a third time from the bottom of the range. It denied it, right? Finally, instead of the hour chart being the range, the 15-minute holds the discount. Discount. Premium. Right? So this happened twice here. This is how, and I can point it out on a real asset if you want to see it as well. It actually happened today on Bitcoin. All right? So demand chain, over. So what the flag looks like on the price action is an extrapolated move of the premium being held. So let's just say the 5-minute looks like, I'm looking at another asset here to try to explain it to you. I can do it right on Bitcoin Watch. So remember this drawing. Let's go over the Bitcoin quick. So here we have 4-hour range on Bitcoin, right? Helps if I actually use the right thing. Come on. So 4-hour high consolidation, 4-hour low consolidation. Every time it wicks the high, it comes down, wicks the low, comes up and wicks the high, come down and wicks the low. So what we're looking for, every time this comes up in here, we're looking for price action to hold, right? We're looking for it to chop sideways, make a higher low, and then break out. So it looks like this. This is the flag. So consolidation, pop over consolidation, continuation. Instead, we take a short because the assumption is this is a higher time frame node. It's a daily high and a 4-hour high, and some of these are even weekly highs. We're going to get a rejection and swing down. We take these plays every single day. This is literally our bread and butter. This happens 75% of the time. It's a rejection. Okay? It's almost always a rejection. But we want it to flag out. And it rarely flags out. So no flag here. No flag here. No flag here. Uh-oh. What did we finally do after attacking? 1, 2, 3. What did we do after attacking the 4th time? 4th time is usually the charm. Well, we flagged out. We finally held and made a new 4-hour low. We'll draw it. All right, here's the flag. We'll look at it at a lower time frame. Here's the pole. The confirmation of the flag working was the break of structure at the top of the range and reclosing. Expectational order flow is now higher. All right, and let's zoom into the hour and see what this looks like. See? Now, we didn't just give it all back. It didn't. So there was no fast up, fast down. Now, one of the things we always take a look at is how fast liquidity moves. Did it just shoot straight up through? Because 9 times out of 10, it's hitting a low volume gap or it's squeezing out shorts or longs. It's usually going to give that back. If it's a major imbalance with no structure, it's going to give that back. If it's a major imbalance with no structure, it's going to give that back. If it's a major imbalance with no structure, it's going to give that back. If it's a major imbalance with no structure, it's going to give that back every single time. They're easy plays to take, but once you know how to spot them. But what we're looking for at the end of the day is, if we just go back 1, forward 2, there we go. We're looking for it to hold. Now look at this. What is this? This is beautiful structure. A nice smooth curve to the upside, right? With a break of structure, a back test into the only demand area virtually left on the chart, and a continuation to the upside. So the flag is just what it is. It looks like a flag. It's waving to you. Right? We pulled the pole once already. Now the liquidity extrapolation for this is almost to the dollar every single time. It's crazy. So that is a bull flag. Now, if this was doing it the other way, we are breaking major structure to the downside. We're looking for a bear flag for it to consolidate underneath the old range and then continue down. I just drew that upside down, so that's the same exact play. So if you want to see what that looks like on trading patterns, I still have these posted on my wall over here. If I could spin the camera, I'd show you. If you don't have these printed out, these are the most basic. Now, we call these retail patterns, right? Let me find a good example here. I mean, this is fine. But all these are like market maker accumulation patterns. This isn't really helping. But here's the image, right? Here's the head and shoulders, model 1, flag model 2, flag model 2. W patterns are model 3, W's and M's. But this is manipulation above the range, continuation. Consolidation above the range, continuation. Consolidation below the range, continuation. Pretty straightforward things to know as a trader. My target on what, brother? On Bitcoin? I mean, I think we're going 104 if you want me to be honest with you. I think we're going to claw back this imbalance in the weekly, and then we're going to turbo red it to like fucking 50K. I think we can get as high as like 107.5. I have this drawn out somewhere. I just don't know where. I mean, fair value gap on the daily and the weekly chart. I think this flag just extends higher like this. And then wherever we get that daily weekly shift, I mean, honestly, I think we end up way down here. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for the cycle theory to be off. I think we bottomed sometime in October on everything. I think it's a bear market year. I don't think it's here, but maybe it's here. The issue with it being here is it's not the issue. The argument for it being right where we're at right now is this is the back test of a previous break, right? We haven't quite come up and tapped it. But here's price action right here. We're tapping into this SR flip, right? Even this little daily SR flip. So which was once support. It's now resistance, right? But market needs to confirm that theory. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with being completely wrong. If I start seeing different things in the chart, we just change the plan, man. That's okay. I'm long, I'm short. I just want to know. Which way we're going. That's it. Nothing else matters. I just want to be along for the ride. I'm like I just recently watched Doom again. Not Doom. Dune. The sandworms, right? I just want to be the guy that hooks on the back of the sandworm and rides the market. I don't have enough money to make anything go the way I want it to go. I'm not looking for quick rich schemes. I'm not looking for low liquidity floats. If you're following the channel, guys, if you're hopping in here and you like what you're seeing or hearing, give it a follow. Consider hopping over to tacticaledgetraders.com, creating a free account, and just enjoying the courses over there. They're absolutely free. Gives you the foundation of how I trade, how Ben trades, how Eddie trades. Consider hopping into the free site of Discord and just having some conversations with us. Let us know what you'd like to hear. If you're an actual trader, you know how to use TradingView, and you just need a crew to bounce ideas off of, consider live trading with us. Somebody did ask me about the cost. It is $99, and I did mention I don't even think live trading is the best part of this. Look, it's great. It's a great benefit. Not a lot of people even do this, but we have a whole trading journal for you, right? This is how you define your edge. Do you have an edge in the market? Do you know which way? If you can't answer the question, what's my best trading day? If you can't answer the question, what's my best trading time frame? If you can't answer the question, what's my best trading session? Asia, London. You're not doing the work you need to be a successful trader. If the dream is to become a full-time trader, maybe you're dabbling in it as a hobby, and that's okay. But if you want to up your game, the TA Questions channel will up your game. The TET meets, the Tactical Edge Trading meets, we do 3 meets a week. We do Wednesday night, Saturday morning, Sunday night. Right? These are live education in Discord. The Sunday night one's free for everybody. So if you're in Discord, you don't have to. Sunday nights with me, CME open 6 p.m. Eastern, and we go over the trading ideas for the week, where we want to see things go. And the last one was, look, I don't know if I actually shared the chart. Yep. I mean, here's our target. We're already there, 92.6. On top of that, we have the entire learning library as well. And that has every course that we've designed previous to the ones on the website. My trading course is here. Trade Like a Rebel. Ben's trading course is here. And then there's just so much information on patterns and liquidity guides and some of our quick lessons and some lessons on indicators. If you go through the Trading Bible here, it kind of shows you. There's my live screen for Discord. Let's go here. So macro finance markets, financial management, wealth, your trading plans, back and forward testing, strategy development, psychology, risk management. We're risk managers first, man. Liquidity, order flow analysis, foundations of order flow, expectation of order flow. All these things are in this learning library. It is a Bible of information. Every one of these things has several hours of courses or lessons that go with it. And that's in Discord for everybody who is on the premium side. Looks like New York crew has wrapped up for the most part. 5 or 6 guys just kind of sitting there. You get access to the TA channel, TA request channel. So if you want to see something that needs requested, let's see if the last one that was in here. TA request. So where's my Aster trade? He asked for TA. I don't know where it's at now. Let's just take a peek. $0.80. 80 cents target. Can you see that? Oop, you can't. 80-cent target. 80-cent target. It's funny how that works. Anyways, guys, we've been going. Oh, Intel. We'll do Intel. Sorry, you already put that in there. Oops. It is not a stock, sir. Or, excuse me. It's not a crypto. Intel breaking up. Not looking like the rest of the market. But could this be a top? Is this all-time high? It is not. So coming up in the weekly high, maybe Intel has one more push above weekly high. 51.51. That's the area to watch for a short. We took the last naked point of control on the daily. So our last bit of large liquidity we just took today. So maybe we get a couple chop days or we start looking for shorts. I mean, honestly, we got a 4-hour intent now. 4-hour low is 43.95. I don't like this color. Look at daily. Daily low matches 4-hour low. That's tough. It's tough when you're like right there and it's a 10% drop to the low. Look at local price action. So just absorption here on the 15. No break. We had a 5-minute break here. Five-minute back test into the order block. Went perfectly. And I don't really like the pattern yet here on the 15. All right, this doesn't scream lower quite yet. So I think if we hold this 46, like 75 area on the 15-minute lower high. Potentially we get one more push up. All right, so if the 15-minute shifts below here, I'll entertain a short. So if we get this short down here, we come back up, we hit some kind of inducement block we left. I don't know, maybe it's even right here. And then we look for that internal shift. So maybe something like this. Otherwise, I'm looking for that head to be put in. I'm looking for the fade. I'm looking for... There's no real pop here yet. There's no real volume to the upside. I'm looking for it to liquidate everything all the way up here, come back down, right back in the neckline, bounce up right into this London high, and then continue down. So this is the play I like a little bit better. So we have a reason to come up. We sweep liquid weekly, monthly high. And then you put that pattern in, man. Model 1, head and shoulders. So high, SFP, equal high, trend line, something like this. And we leave behind, here's our measured move of that flag. We leave behind some sort of order block here, imbalance here. Come on, draw. So excess supply would be sitting right here. It hits it and it goes. It's big moves, right? I'm looking for one more push up or confirm a push down. And I guess like here, like here's the same theory, right? So we didn't take this high, so there's still this possibility this plays. But like here's the theory, right? It could be here already. So we have shoulder, head, break neckline. I wish I didn't do that, sorry. Shoulder, head. We come down to the low, sweep liquidity to the low, come back up, sweep liquidity to the high, and then we continue down. So the short could be like here. I like the other play better, but this could be a similar setup. But just need to confirm my theory. I need you to break structure one way, fail to break it back the other way, and then the continuation. But if you're looking for like areas where things are built up, you got several hours accumulation here after the break. So coming back and wicking that would be ideal. You got to kind of get the same thing like every little step here, right? Keep hitting the wrong hotkey. We did NQ at the beginning. I think we did. Yeah, we did NQ at the beginning. Just took the weekly high, man. Daily high again. Came down, we're breaking structure. So our fib didn't hold to the downside, or it held to the downside yesterday for the pop for the daily. And we got our target. This was just our target here at this low. 25,585. So risk to reward on that was 6%. I think I drugged this by accident. So 6% on account. But you know, if you're taking a look at oscillators, man, it's bearish divergence here, right? So price is pushing to the upside. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 pushing up. Look at the stock. This is volume. This is pushing down. This is people taking profits. Doesn't mean we don't turn around and just retake the high, but you know, I want to see some sort of liquidity taken. 24,917, even as low as 23,968. Key levels, man. Key levels. So we need some sort of liquidity grab on this side of the coin. So coming down, hitting this, getting back into range, getting that break of structure to the upside. Good old buy to sell, or excuse me, sell to buy. And we get the W pattern. So W. But we do ES levels, NQ levels in Discord daily. I appreciate everybody hitting the like buttons. I don't know if we did ES, because ES, did we do ES? We did NQ. We didn't do it. It looks exactly the same. You start noticing everything looks the same. You can take the play, the same play in several assets. But what was the play daily, right? Here's 15-minute chart. All right. What was the play every single day? Wick daily high, correction. Wick daily high, correction. These key levels, man, they're strong. They're where we take our plays in some sort of asset on a daily basis. Those are the key levels that we're looking for daily, the trade. We're not looking for, like, we'll come up into that daily level, that 4-hour level, that weekly level, and then that's when we zoom in. That's when we look at the 15-minute chart. That's when we look at the 5-minute. We don't live on those time frames until we get into those higher time frames. It's all fractals, baby. Are you from Discord? Because I say that all the time. Every single one of you guys, I'd love to see you over in Discord. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go get some lunch. I try to be live daily here between about 11 and 1 o'clock. But I appreciate you all. I'm just using TradingView, man. You can use it absolutely free. It just kind of limits what you can have on it, but price action's there. Hop over in Discord, guys. Tactical Edge Traders trading. Now I got to think about that. It's discord.gg/tactical edge trading. But the link is in the description over in TikTok if you're watching there. It is over in the channel About Us on YouTube if you're watching over there. But I do appreciate you all. Hop in Discord. It's absolutely free. The courses online are absolutely free. I'm Donkey in Discord. If you feel like tagging me over in the general chat, just tell me you came from the live. I'd love to see you. Later, guys.